This is going to be the top 8 of the PizzaBox Open Explorer tournament, joined by HamHawks42. You can find all the links down below to all of my content and HamHawks content in the description. Don't forget, leave a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button, bell notification, so that way you know when any new videos come out. You can find me live on Twitch 4 days a week. And yeah, Ham, this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. We have 2 Rakdos sacrifice decks going off here. Going to be interesting to see what players figure out the lines of play, because active, non-active player is the most important part, I think, of matchups like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I'm very interested in this kind of situation because these Rakdos decks are very skill testing. Making sure that you spend your mana efficiently, line up your threats appropriately. It's all about sequencing. And you really see that also. Okay, so here we have the turn 1 Thoughtseize. That Witch's Oven is looking really tasty if I'm Marcelo here. Yeah, you force the discard on that. So the 2 cats have nowhere to go. The Fable of the Mirror Breaker is a real threat, but that's okay. At the end of the day, the oven is the engine that keeps the whole thing moving. But so it's all about mana efficiency and lining up the appropriate threats. And you really see that with like Mayhem Devil, for example. Like as you're doing the loops, you get 1 damage and you can put it anywhere. And making sure that you're putting those in the right places, removing creatures when it's appropriate, punishing the life total when it's appropriate. It really makes a huge difference. All right, so here the Cauldron Familiars are going to trade. So both players have one in the graveyard.
Already we start with the cats in the graveyard.
Yep. Honestly, I think both players were like, you want to just do that? Okay, yeah, let's do that. And so the cats are just in the yards. Now, Viralata has another cat in hand. Now, note, they didn't play it that turn. All right, so Blood Crypt is shocked in.
I was thinking I should get Cauldron Familiars with my cats on them because I have 4 cats. I can put a different cat on each Cauldron Familiar.
I kind of love that. Yeah, highly recommend. Yeah, definitely do that. So
they got the Claim the Firstborn here to get rid of that. Well,
but there's no sack outlet is the problem.
Yeah, so you don't want to 2 for 1 yourself either, right?
Right. Like you can claim the Firstborn, the Goblin attack, get the treasure, but then the Fatal Push would be the finisher anyway. So
yeah, taking the Fable when it flips over with the claim is better.
Way better.
You're gonna hit them for 3, get them down to 16. We know about a cat in their hand, so
yeah,
they're gonna.
Well, and the funny thing there, in that situation, if the Mayhem Devil is still here and the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki is live, if you steal. If you use Claim the Firstborn to steal the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, use that Reflection of Kiki-Jiki to copy the Mayhem Devil, punch for 6. When the Mayhem Devil sacrifices itself at the end step, you get 2 Mayhem Devil pings. You can put them both on the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki, and they don't get it back, assuming you don't have another sack outlet live at that point. So there are possibilities for some pretty dumb stuff here. But speaking of sack outlets, there's the Witch's Oven, and as a result, the Claim the Firstborn is taking the Mayhem Devil. This is beautiful. Yep. Yeah, they sacked the stolen Mayhem Devil here. Yep. The double check-in, mousing over, making sure they select the right one, because that would be a huge bummer if they don't. Yep. But still, you remove the Mayhem Devil off the board. And the 100%. Yeah, no, the oven being tapped here means that pulling the Cauldron Familiar out here, all you're doing is opening it up.
I was muted there. That's my bad.
Oh, if you bring the Cauldron Familiar out, no worries, man. If you bring the Cauldron Familiar out here, it just is susceptible to removal. This hurts. The Fatal Push on. Now, this is kind of brilliant too. Revolt was triggered by the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki flipping, which is pretty wild. So, yeah, if I'm Marcelo, I'm probably bringing Cauldron Familiar out here. Getting a ping to the face. No other sacks available, unfortunately. But that brings Viralata down to 6. Your Cauldron Familiar is now open, which is not ideal, but that's okay. And the Takenuma can bring the Mayhem Devil back.
Yep.
Or you can just play that one.
And yeah, you can just kill the Reflection now. No worries. Yep. Actually, we can kill the Reflection and their Cauldron Familiar, and then. Ugh, that's so gross.
A little bit. Yep.
But also, just like sometimes I'm not sure if you really need to kill their cards. Sometimes I'm like, why don't
Yeah.
I just deal them 7 direct damage? Like, do we have 7 direct damage here?
Ooh, and here we have a situation where they're just going to use the Hive of the Eye Tyrant,
Yep.
swing it
Force
in,
them to
just
trade.
well, it forces the trade, and it also exiles one of the cats out of their yard.
Yeah, I think this is a fantastic play.
That's great, actually.
I
And
was
they
wondering
didn't
if the
spend any
Hive would have
cards
been
to
a
do
good
it.
play. I was wondering only because
Yeah.
since you're tapping out and getting one attacker, but so now the Mayhem Devil you have in your hand is lethal, right? Because you can play the Mayhem Devil, sack the cat, get it back, and then I guess you need like 1 more damage. That's only 3. I guess you have 1 off the cat coming in. So yeah, I think this is gonna be it here. I think, right? They have lethal.
I mean,
Because
yeah. So
Viralata
this comes
doesn't know
back.
that they have Mayhem Devil in their hand,
Yeah.
and they just have
Oh
Deadly
yeah.
Dispute too. So I
This
mean,
is
Deadly
it. Oh,
Dispute can
and
do it.
yeah, yeah. Dead Dispute is just gravy at this point. Because yeah, Mayhem Devil drops, and there's 1 card in Viralata's hand that we don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
So actually making a copy of the Cauldron Familiar here makes a lot of sense because that allows for 1 gain drain. So that ups their life total. Now the problem is on the end step, that Cauldron Familiar is going to be sacrificed and trigger the Mayhem Devil. So if the Mayhem Devil is still around at the end step, then it's a wash.
Yep. Here we go.
Yeah,
Mayhem
because the Mayhem
Devil.
Devil triggers off of any permanent being sacrificed.
They still have it though. All they have
Yeah,
to do
because
is get the cat back.
if they bring the Cauldron Familiar back,
They should still have
that's
it,
gonna
right? I mean, Marcelo is like a really good player. I'm just
yeah.
wondering if they're waiting for something. I don't think
At this point, there's only
so.
one black mana open. Everything they can do at instant speed. So
Yeah, this should be it. Like the food token kills them, I think. Or you like sack the food token to the Deadly Dispute, sack the treasure, and they're
right.
dead. I think that's the line.
That would work.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
at
that's
this
2
point
more
too,
damage.
this is 2 damage represented.
Yeah, either way, you're getting
They
the food. The food's about
could,
hasn't resolved yet either.
yeah, they could do the Deadly Dispute, or you could just bring the Cauldron back because that's an additional 2.
I
Yeah,
think maybe they were waiting to see if they had like a removal spell of some sort.
right. Yeah, they were playing
Once they
cautiously, which I
realized they
respect.
didn't. Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
at the end of the day, they decided to go for it, and sure enough, they had it. Yeah. So Mayhem Devil is fantastic. And if I'm in Marcelo's position here, I'm looking at the sideboard and I see those Furnace Rains. I'm very intrigued by those. Also,
Mm-hmm.
the Meat Hook Massacre has an opportunity to be pretty disgusting. What are your thoughts? What are you bringing in here?
Definitely the Meat Hook Massacre. Probably the Extinction
Okay.
event. I also really like the 3 mana take a creature card. I think is fine. Obnexus is good here. Yep, bringing him in because it's going to be a grindy
Perfect.
game on Licensed Hearse. I think your other cards are fine. You don't really care about Thought Seizes and stuff, which is why you only see 2 on the deck now.
Yeah.
I think they started with 4, right? Let's double check. I don't want to say the wrong thing here.
Right. No, that makes
Yeah, they
sense.
started with 4 Thoughtseize. So yeah, like Thoughtseizes is really good in the first few turns of the game, and then after that it's really bad because with Cat Oven, you have a lot of bad top decks, so you're like managing your damage and your resources as tight as you can. And
Okay.
I think having some of these dead cards isn't going to be worth it, you know?
Right. So Marcelo with the 6-lander, and of course they top a land off the top to start things off. That hurts. But they have the Blackleaf Cliffs and the Hive and the Unlucky Witness and the Deadly Dispute. So if you're going to have a 6-land hand, this isn't a bad way to do it because they're going to see a lot more cards and they're going to get some other advantage.
Viralata's definitely thinking
yeah.
about the Fatal Push maybe, or maybe they just wanted to maybe highlight it, talking it themselves.
Right.
Maybe I'm not sure there because if you take
Possibly.
out that Witness, you kind of couldn't potentially cut some cards off their deck because they might not have the mana to cast them, or it makes their Hive awkward because then they have another land in exile, right? Even though obviously Marcelo's not worried about lands in this current situation, so that doesn't necessarily apply here, but
yeah,
it looks like they're going to Deadly, so technically they look at 4 cards, 2 they draw, and then 2 off the top they can choose.
Yep.
Obnexus is looking okay.
Yeah.
Kind of need a cat here to be able to casualty it.
Right.
I mean, bargain it.
You mean kick it? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, kick it. Can you kick it?
Oh my goodness.
They got their own cat.
Yep. So there's the Cauldron Familiar. They got I
think you Fatal Push the Blood Tide and then cast. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have the engine live. There it is, Cat Oven.
I think the one thing about Marcelo is they're really trying to use their mana the best that they can. They don't want to spend this treasure token.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd rather maybe play a token, let the Blood Tithe kill your token anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Fatal Push for Mayhem Devil, because Mayhem Devil, I think, is the most important card in this matchup.
Right.
Or one of the most important cards.
It's up there.
Obviously, like the removal spells, I think, are up there too. But
All right.
if you
So
get
they
your
play
double and they
the
don't, then it's pretty rough.
Yeah, they played the Mountain from Exile. Now, the choice is they had the Mountain in Exile and they had Ob Nixilis. So if they were going to play Ob Nixilis, that was use it or lose it. That was the moment. They chose not to. Okay, I think that's totally fair and reasonable. Choosing the Fable over Ob, which, can't deny that's pretty important, especially in a situation where you have 4 more lands in your hand.
Yep.
Fable can help you turn those away. So
Definitely.
I'm not mad at it. It makes a lot of sense. All right. So Harvester coming in, and they are going to take the trade.
Yeah, see, you're okay with this.
Yeah.
Like your Fable's
You're doing fine
active.
mana-wise.
You have 7 cards in hand. You don't care. You're about
Double
to
oven,
ditch,
though. That hurts.
You're ditching the swamp and the well, actually, you want the swamp because the castle locked. Oh. I say that and we tap deck a Blood Crypt.
Yeah. So yeah, Sulphur Springs and maybe the pathway. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Well, they're gonna dump the castle. They're just gonna let go of the castle. That's okay. Well, they're weighing their options.
I like the Blood Crypt and Springs more. You play the swamp now, anyways.
Right.
And then you can play the other Fable and hold up push. You can push their token.
Yeah. Okay.
Meat Hook's insane here.
And then there's Meat Hook as well. So
actually, it's not as bad because Viralata has 2 ovens, so they will be able to get around that.
Right. Yeah, the double oven is definitely problematic. Yeah, so they're gonna hook that meat for 2. This is going to, So Viralata in response is just going to sacrifice the shaman rather than let the life gain happen. But now, as the cat loops just became a lot less impressive. Yeah, so they come down, do the gain and drain. But now when they sack the cat, Marcelo is going to gain a life. So it basically just undoes the ETB. So yeah, each of those loops becomes significantly worse. Viralata choosing to discard 0 cards on Chapter 2 of Fable. That is horrifying. Definitely not what you want to see. All right, Marcelo finds a Cauldron Familiar of their own. Still sitting on 2 Fatal Pushes with the Fable back. Here comes Castle Lockthwain as the land for turn. And here comes the second Fable. So both players rocking the Fables. All right. Truth is, Fable the Mirror Breaker, pretty darn good. And here comes an Unlicensed Hearse. So the Unlicensed Hearse represents a threat. The problem is the Cauldron Familiar never stays in the graveyard. So the Hearse is probably, unless Viralata messes up on how they sequence the cat, it's not going to get tagged by the Hearse. As long as they keep a food lying around, the Hearse just can't deal with it. All right. And so, yeah, the cat loops are happening. And now, actually,
Yep.
I'm kind of amazed that they're going through these sequences right now. All right. And now, the cat's locked. There's 1 food back. So Marcelo could Fatal Push the cat at this point. That wouldn't really be
I don't think
it wouldn't be a great use of that resource. So yeah, Fatal Push on Kiki, that hurts.
Yeah, it's a little tough. I think you're not as bad as it could be, but it's definitely annoying. You have another Fable, so you can deal with it. I think you have to kill their token. Definitely can't let it attack.
The shaman token, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, the goblin.
Or the only token creature. Don't mind me.
That's okay. Here comes the Fable flipping back. I
guess maybe I've only been doing this for 6 hours. Everybody, don't mind me. All right,
we're both right there.
Yep. And it's also very hot in my apartment today for some reason. So that's just one of those things. There. Is what it is. All right. So the Goblin Shaman, trade with the Goblin Shaman. And that Goblin Shaman now left the battlefield, triggering Revolt. Although the treasure token here would have triggered Revolt anyway. But I have a sneaking suspicion. Oh, and another Fable. Holy cow. All right. Viralata dropping their 3rd Fable of the game. Woof.
Yep.
This Hearse is going to exile the Harvester. Yeah, and the Fatal Push. All right. Yeah, at this point, it's not mana efficient to do anything just because it would force the treasure to be sacked anyway. All right, so they're gonna dump the pathway and the Cauldron Familiar. Cauldron
Yep, seems
Familiar, if
good.
you get your oven online, can come back from the graveyard, so sure. And then yeah, honestly, land wise, they're good. They're gonna choose the den rather than the pathway. Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, Kroxa.
Yeah,
Well, the
Crocs is
opponent has one
great.
card in hand.
Yeah,
That's
Crocs
pretty
is
fancy.
really good.
Oh yeah.
We don't have an
Let's
oven, but
go.
Crocs might be coming back here in a second.
Yeah, actually. Because the pathway or a Shocked-in Blood Crypt is enough mana. And I'm pretty sure that graveyard is pretty stuffed at this point.
All right, here it comes down, making them discard a card. They get rid of a
And
Fatal
then
Push,
there's a
which
Fatal
is huge.
Push.
Yep.
It's a great discard.
Yep, they can
And
get
they
it
still have
back.
the
It's
treasure as
highlighted.
well.
Yeah.
So yeah. So they can Kroxa here, play out a land, and then Fatal Push the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki on Viralata's board. Or however they want to sequence it. They're going to Fatal Push first. Great. I see zero
Yeah, they can play
problem
the
with that.
pathway on red, but that's not ever doesn't ever feel good in this deck.
Not really. No. I'd probably be shocking in the Blood Crypt here. Honestly, I personally don't run the pathways in most decks just because being committed to one color is a really significant downside. And once you've established it, that is what it is. And it's not typed. So, if you care about if you care about land types, like the castles or domain, then yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of the
Okay.
but they can do
I think
they can do black.
Marcelo
Yep.
is just doing a good job of managing his life as a resource.
True.
Because you know that in this matchup, you could each get down really low, and then those extra points of damage that you did to yourself really make a difference.
That is true.
So, I think it's pretty good play here overall. I think. On
Yeah,
their end.
absolutely. All right, so the Fable of the Mirror Breaker is, of course, triggering. They had so Viralata had a Den of the Bugbear, and they chose to discard it to the Fable. Keep on sharing in. Because, yeah, Den is decent. Like, it's perfectly fine. But, yeah, okay, so they played out their land. Because they might as well. Yeah, Fable and the Fatal Push are getting exiled.
Hearse is going to be huge.
No, that Hearse is going to be massive. Yeah.
Wow.
And, yeah, more Fatal Pushes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Hive of the Eye Tyrant back as well. So Marcelo's in a situation where, Viralata has the Cauldron Familiar, a Reflection of Kiki-Jiki live, and 2 Witches Ovens. I mean, that sounds like a great setup. But this Kroxa is going to single-handedly cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, you can could have crewed the hearse.
Yeah.
But I also like them putting the pressure on Viralata to have to use the oven and everything, and then line everything up the correct way.
Right. And notably, the Revolt was triggered. So Fatal Push can do its thing. Yeah, the Reflection of the Kiki-Jiki flipping. Because the Saga goes into exile, leaving the battlefield, and then comes back as the creature. So Revolt's live. If you're going to kill the Reflection, now's the time. They choose not to. Okay. This could get rough, I think. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough here, I think.
Yeah, the double Kikis is just terrifying. It just is. It always will be.
Being able to copy the Blood Tithe is huge.
Yep.
But they have 2
They
Fatal
do that
Pushes,
right
so...
now. Now, the Fatal Push has an opportunity to blow out that particular move. All right, so the Unlicensed Hearse is going to be crewed in order to block the Goblin Shaman. Take it out. All right.
Yep, I like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't really cost Marcelo anything. So, all right.
Yep, they're going to try to copy. You just have the
And
Fatal
now,
Push.
yep, now you push it.
And a bit of a blowout here.
A little bit.
Yeah,
now they're gonna the oven in response. Sure, you might as well. Yep. Thing's gonna die anyway. Might as well make some food.
Yep, things are pretty rough there. I think you just okay. We'll redraw. Yeah, we're 23. Go down to 21. We still have a Fatal Push. Looking for a Mayhem Devil here.
Yep.
To help finish the game off rather quickly.
Yeah. Oh, and Marcelo is going to target the Cauldron Familiar, kind of force that.
I have always liked.
Get activated right here, right now.
Yep.
So, all right.
Bunga.
Thanks for the bits there. I know my notifications are on there, so definitely heard the bits. Might have to. Gonna Turn that
We do
down here,
appreciate it.
but thank you so much, Christmas.
Yeah. All right.
Wow,
so
claim is huge.
Claim has the potential to be pretty darn huge. Yes.
All these draws Marcelo's getting are kind of insane.
A little bit. Yeah. So the claim can target the reflection. And that could be nuts. Now, interestingly enough, Marcelo still just does not have a sack outlet. Like the Witch's Oven just has not shown up yet. And that's definitely a bummer. That said, they have plenty of resources. So they're doing okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, if I'm Marcelo here, I'm looking at Claim the Firstborn and seriously considering grabbing their Reflection of Kiki Jiki. And, sending it and a crude bank or a crude hearse in to deal some damage, right?
I was thinking the Hive.
Oh, Hive as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Hive didn't come in. They're already in a pretty awkward spot. I think that Marcelo is really like hoping that they try to activate a Kiki and then maybe kill it, but they don't have any way of activating Revolt, so it's going to be kind of tough for them to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Not being able to trigger Revolt at will is really problematic. All right, here comes the claim. Now that both Witch's Ovens are tapped. Okay.
This is interesting.
I'm curious what the plan is here.
Yeah.
So the Kikis can copy one another. Yeah.
Oh, so they're going
these will all
to wait till the token to leave and then kill the reflection off of that, right? Is that what I'm saying? Yeah.
The other thing is if they spend all their mana with the Meathook Massacre down, they can spend maybe all but one mana doing Kiki copies.
Yeah, you're right. And then they can hit them
deal
for
a
lot of
crap ton of Meathook damage.
Yep. Yeah, they could have done that, actually. It's a really good point.
Oh, but no, they're going to wait till their end step. And that way they're going to have a whole bunch of
gotcha.
Kikis.
Yep. Yeah, so either way they're still going to do it.
Yeah, they still get to do it, but they're timing it better.
It's a really big play that you saw there.
Yeah. But okay. All right, they're gonna fatal. Yeah, now they fatal push after the sack.
Mm-hmm. Yep, seems pretty good.
All right.
And then you can just copy more cards.
Yeah, there can be more. I mean, at this point, there's enough mana for quite a few copies. We've got 4 copies just waiting to be made here. Yeah, timing on this is a little awkward, but
yeah, this is
it'll
get
the job done. So they have it. They have this set up until Virolata's end step.
Yep.
Yeah, full control. Good call. Yep.
This is hilarious.
Wow.
Crazy standoff. Oh, they got their own Fable though again.
All right, another Fable.
This has just been Fables and Fatal pushes.
Yeah, 100%. I think this actually might be Virolata's 4th Fable this game.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, they both been going back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're gonna have one of way too many, if there's any one card that you're gonna find all 4 of, I want it to be that one. But now they wait until the end step, and they do the Kiki copies now. Again, just wait until the end step, and now they're gonna get 3 more Kiki copies that are gonna stick around.
Yep, and they'll be able to deal them some damage off the Meathook. This should be GG, right? Because the Meathook's just gonna kill them.
Yeah.
Get like an oven, it's definitely game over because we have the cauldron to deal with an additional 1 damage, I guess, or 2 because of the Meathook. Well,
and it's funny because we're looking at all this crazy stuff in with the Kikis and the Meathooks. There's also just Kroxa just sitting over there, just still.
Don't forget all these cards were in standard at one point.
I know, right? Yeah, this was a standard deckable. Yeah, this did happen. Yeah. Actually, no, I don't think Fable and
the cat and stuff weren't around, but
yeah, Fable and the cat didn't.
Neither were Fable and Kroxa, I think.
Yeah, but Kroxa and Cauldron Familiar, like
Meathook was around with Kiki,
and there's the oven.
Yep,
that is.
Yep, there's the top deck we needed to finish the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we just swing in with 3 tokens and the Kroxa, and then we copy for 7. That's 7 points of damage, and should be. There's
no way that's not game, right? Yeah, I can't imagine a situation in which Marcelo doesn't just casually walk away with this one. Because for every mana that's available, the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki can copy itself again, as long as one of them is untapped. So yeah, you send in the tokens alongside Croxa.
Yep.
And then whichever ones get blocked, you just sacrifice one of them to the Witch's Oven to make the food. And then just make a whole crap ton more Kiki-Jiki copies. At this point, Virolata's tapped out now, so they can do the cat loop twice. That's not nothing. Like, that is going to gain them a little bit of life, but never mind. They do have 3 treasures, so they can activate the food.
And, so they can. I think they can stay in the game for one more turn, but it's once again there's no card in these decks that wins them the game or gets them back into the game. Let's take a look at Pedro's deck.
And Marcelo here is in the tank doing all the math.
Pedro does has 2 me hooks though.
Okay.
So if they top deck a me hook,
that could change things. Yeah.
And all the me hook triggers go off. They might die before they gain enough life on the sack back.
Oh my goodness. The sack back. I love it. All right. Yeah, so you let all this happen. All right. Yeah, that meat hook getting established early has been clutch for Marcelo. The amount of advantage that it's been gaining, I mean, it has negated every time the cats come down, which is huge. All right. Yeah, if I'm Marcelo here, I'm just Kiki copying like crazy. And it looks like they're going to wait till their end step. But if they do it now, those creatures being sacrificed on the end step will be a benefit. You know? Instead, they're choosing to keep the bodies around, which, okay. At the end of the day, as long as they're dying, it's fine.
This is rough, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Sacrifice this.
Yeah, one of the little dudes that was going to die anyway. Yep.
I mean, this is close, Ham. This is like pretty about almost as lethal as it gets.
Oh yeah, no, I mean Marcelo has this. I can't. This combo, honestly, in waiting, by waiting, they're giving Virolata a chance to top deck something, and at least do a couple more cat loops. Now they may not have had perfect lethal on board. I might have been jumping the gun a little bit just because of those food tokens. But in reality, they had enough mana to sacrifice one of the foods to gain 3 life. And then they also could have brought the cat back, so that was another additional 4 life that they had on board. I see more than 4 untapped mana for Marcelo. So post-combat main phase, if they had done all the Kiki copies, gone to end step, they all sacked, that should have been enough meter triggers to end the game. And so here we go. Let's see what happens here. Now, keeping the Fable engine, keeping the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki engine alive by doing it over and over each end step like this is super cool. I got to give him mad props for that. Okay, so here comes a Meat Hook Massacre, where X equals 2. The Unlicensed Search is going to exile some stuff. And so now, all these various and sundry Kikis are going to die. That said, Virolata is the active player. So I feel like now is a great opportunity to discuss the difference between active and non-active players.
Player comes into handy when you're at 2 life and Meat Hook Massacre's on the board.
So when both players have Meat Hook Massacre live, when a creature dies, the active player's trigger goes on the stack first. And then the non-active player, in this case Marcelo's trigger, would go on the stack second, which means it resolves first. So if they're going to be, say, I don't know, 9 Meat Hook triggers, or however much this ends up being, what will happen is Virolata will have 9 Meat Hook triggers hit the stack, and then Marcelo's 9 Meat Hook triggers are going to hit the stack, and Marcelo's triggers are going to resolve first. After every single time one of those triggers resolves, the board is checked. So if Virolata is dead before any of their life gain triggers hit,
Marcelo has like 10 triggers here. I don't really think
there's no way.
There's
and
much
so as a result,
could do.
You would think, oh, the meat hooks offset each other, but based on the active non-active player relationship, in this case, they really don't. And it looks like Marcelo is fully aware of how this works and is going to take advantage. Yeah, I kind of love this. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, Virolata's gonna make a copy of the Cauldron Familiar, trying to hang on. Honestly, they would have been probably better off spending the 4 mana, the 2 treasures, and the land that they had eating food, honestly.
This is so silly. This is just...
But this is super silly. 100%.
Just the silliest. We have 3, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 triggers. Oh, this is disgusting.
This is disgusting.
Here we
Agreed.
go. Lose a life, gain a life.
Here
Lose
it
a life.
is.
Oh my god. Here's the
Here's the
meatloaf.
moment. Moment of
Oh, I
truth.
told you this was the card they needed
This
to
is it.
draw.
Boom. And now we have triggers. So there we go. There are a lot of triggers are all hitting the stack. That's 10 meat hook triggers. Marcelo gets to choose the order of their 10 meat hook triggers, which
This
are going to
is
resolve first.
So gross.
And take Viralata out. Yep.
Well, they can sack a food.
They can eat a food.
They can gain 6 life. Oh yeah, they tapped. Yeah, you're right. They tapped. Yeah,
They can gain 4.
They
They
can
bring the
gain,
cauldron familiar
3
back, and then
3
they
plus
eat
the
one of
cauldron.
the. Well, I guess they have the cat oven loop still, so.
Yeah, so this is what, 5 life or 6 life. So they do lose though, right? I think to the number of triggers.
I'm pretty sure they still.
It's like exact, right?
Yeah.
But then you just lose like cross attacking.
Well, yeah. And then, yeah, exactly. Like
you don't really have a way out.
Whether
like,
they survive
Marcelo's
this turn
gonna
or not.
untap.
Well, and Marcelo can also just bring their own cauldron familiar back up for an additional ping.
It could just
need be.
activate the
that's
land.
in their back pocket here.
Activate the land, crew the hearse. Like
Yeah,
I'm
at
pretty
the
sure
end of the day,
Viralata's dead. And like
this is just Viralata. This is all
they're both-
Viralata's turn.
Yeah, they're both playing
And
very well this match, right? So.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, their goal is to simply stay alive. Yep. So yeah, Marcelo's just gonna bring their own cat out. Get an additional 1 pop. And here comes the meat hook triggers. Viralata hangs on for one more turn.
Yep, I'm telling you.
No
See? Look at
way.
this.
No way.
Yep.
All right. That was nothing short of
Yeah,
miraculous.
but they have 2 attackers. Like they have the
Yeah.
hearse, the cat, and the Croxa. They just swing out, right? Like plus the creature land.
Yeah. This is fantastic. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so the hearse is crew 2. So that they have to tap the hive to take advantage, but I mean still, this is plenty, right? They can blank 7 of it.
Yeah,
But,
I mean.
Yeah.
That was
So,
that was an interesting.
At the end of the day, Marcelo just had way too much advantage, but that one turn was fantastic. That was worth the price of admission right there.
Definitely gives you an option of answering cards you wouldn't normally answer. In the top 4 here, PizzaBox Open Explorer. We have
Here we go.
Gruul Boats versus Rakdos mid-range. Going to be watching on Gruul Boats side here. Looks like they open up with 5 lands, a Lovestruck Beast, and a Crone War.
And a Crone War.
And I think the Lovestruck Beast, I think this is keepable. Oh, they actually mulliganed.
I mean, you could make an argument for it, but I'm not mad at the mulligan there.
You like the mulligan more?
I think I do. I mean, I'm a big fan. I would rather, I say it a lot, I'd rather get flooded than screwed. So I understand the idea of keeping a 5-lander like that. And the reality is, Lovestruck Beast is, of a particular generation of adventures that is particularly busted, where it gives you a 1-drop and a very powerful 3-drop. But yeah, here we have Land of Elves, which is about to get pushed over, I think. Yep. If you hit a push.
So do you play the pathway if you don't draw red? Are you trying to get this pack leader down, or are you going for the end step stomp? Or I mean you could kill the blood tithe.
If I'm Lesbier, I think I want to get if I have to play the pathway on 2, I think I'm playing it as red.
Ooh, what a card to play.
Yeah. I mean, Bankbuster never stopped being good. And so so now we have the pathway conundrum, where you can get red and you get access to the Bone Crusher Giant, or you play green, you get access to the pack leader, and that's what they want to do.
You have to stay with tempo, right? You can't give up tempo. The only thing bad with this play is if Kaiba ends up playing like a trespasser and then swinging with the Bankbuster. Obviously they're starting to win the race, but at this point you're looking for any top deck red source to play this Bone Crusher, and then another land to hit one of our 3/4 drops. So really at the mercy of the top of their deck right now is Lesbier.
Right.
And, Kaiba playing their land. Everything's looking good for them. Obviously, dual land. And
Greater Trespasser. You called it.
And probably going to crew here. I think they're really, it's worth a note. It really depends on how Kaiba's hand shaping up, because a defensive play is fine too. But I don't mind crewing and swinging just because Lesbier isn't going to be able to draw a card. You're at 21. You can take the 3.
Right. They are instead choosing to hold back.
Now, obviously, we know Lesbier doesn't have a land, so now that hold back looks a little bad. But they can swing in. Okay. I guess they
No,
can't
Lesbier can't
because of
because of
the
the
Bank
Bankbuster.
Buster. Yeah, never mind.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, Kaiba could have crewed the Bankbuster and blocked, no problem. And now it's nighttime. Now, here's the problem with the day-night mechanic in this scenario. Lesbier getting mana screwed means that Graveyard Trespasser is even better. And so they're being punished for not being able to play. So that hurts really badly in this particular scenario anyway. And another Graveyard Trespasser coming down.
Down's a glutton.
Still nighttime.
Yep.
Woof.
Wonder why they didn't.
Honestly, I
got
think
a
that's
swing.
game.
I don't know why they didn't play that first. I think they're not being aggressive enough.
Yeah.
They did get an untapped land. You play Bone Crusher here.
I mean, knowing that you're going up against Gruul, at the end of the day, the Gruul deck needs power. It needs to be punching. And so holding a solid 4/4 back to block is definitely beneficial.
Now, we get a redraw here.
Yes.
And
so,
if they trade with one of their creatures, then and we top deck a land, we're still in it because we'll have a Chrome War.
Now, that if they attack with, if they give the storm charge slasher haste and swing, the werewolf pack leader is just dead. They get him for 5 damage. Meanwhile, doing it this way, it forces a trade or damage. Whereas if they were to attack with, actually though, I mean, giving the slasher haste, you get 5/4 trample, and the werewolf pack leader is just a 3/3. But because of pack tactics, you would have drawn a card. Knowing that you lose the pack leader, you still are going to get at least one land or one card closer to the land you need.
I just think it's a mistake not pumping up the other creature. I get that you'll lose the pack leader, but I think trying to draw to a land is a lot better.
Yeah.
Either way, if you're going to be aggressive, then yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, they didn't even attack. It's
trying to draw into lands makes a lot of sense when you're trying to hit your 4-drops. I mean, at this point, Lesbier has a handful of really good 4-drops.
Yeah, like a chariot gets you back in the game.
100%.
Like, all you need to do is resolve a chariot, and you get back into the game. I mean, granted, I understand Lesbier. They're both playing a little safer.
Yep.
Not really get blown out by like a card and everything, but I mean, I think if I'm Lesbier, I'm really pushing Kaiba's patience here and really seeing what they're made of. Yep. And if they want to make some trades, they want to make some trades. I think I'm fine with that.
Here it is. Okay, so here we have a situation where Kaiba sees an opportunity and they're going to take it.
Yeah, and Fatal Push is huge here. You can set up a double block, but you're going to get blown out here by a removal spell.
Yeah.
And you can't really take 12 and go to 3. That's not like
realistic. You can't. And so do you block 2 knowing that you lose both creatures and only take 4? But that's not worth it either. I think you
almost have to take it. I think you almost have to take it. I hope you draw land for the chariot.
Woof. I mean, that hurts.
Because you're putting more creatures in the graveyard. So the Trespasser is going to end up being lethal regardless. I think you have to put yourself in a position where you can maybe dig out of that. Maybe try to hit. They play Scavenging Ooze.
Oh, man.
Like, no Scavenging Ooze, so not even on the sideboard.
Okay, so yeah, Werewolf Pack Leader is going to be blocking here. They're going to take 8.
Well,
so let's
see.
Looks like is there removal?
Maybe they just have Fatal Push, but it's not turned on.
Possibly. They have that blood token, but if they like both their cards, they're not going to want to use that.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to go for it, though, looks like. They go for something, or they're just reading the card.
It seems to be the case.
So, yeah, no push. And, of course, we get a tap land.
Oh, yeah, of course, it's the fast land, the tapped one. That is not what you want to see here.
Yeah, they definitely got a little bit mana screwed here, unfortunately, in this game.
Which wouldn't have happened if they kept that opening hand. They could have flooded out completely and not drawn any action.
Yeah, I think the flood was okay because you had two 2-for-1 spells.
Yeah.
But the Akron War is always going to be a 2-for-1, and Love Strike Beast, like, there's still cards they have to deal with. Like, this deck has a hard time dealing with 5/5s.
They just don't have enough. Yep.
Yeah, that was just unfortunate for Lespier's side. They just, didn't really have what they needed, but they are going to be on the play now, and yeah, I mean, they should be okay. They have, I don't know if you want to bring in the Embercleaves. You could bring in the Clothis, though.
Yeah.
I think you maybe bring in, like, one Clothis. Probably both of the Werewolf that destroys artifacts and enchantments. The name escapes me right now.
Oh, yeah, the
Liberated.
Is it something Forerunner?
Yeah, I can't remember. But take a look here. Outland Liberator.
Outland Liberator, that's the one. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so I also like bringing in removal against this deck, but the problem is that Lespier actually doesn't really have much removal against their deck. No. They have one Abrade. I really think you might almost want to bring in the Embercleave if you can get to it, because it goes over the top. I'd probably cut like a couple of Crown Boards. It's like an okay 4-drop. When it's good, it's
Yeah, we
good. When it's
definitely
bad, it's bad.
yeah, we definitely saw it lined up pretty poorly against the Graveyard Trespasser, especially because of the ward.
Hmm.
You know, so yeah, like, obviously in that game they didn't get a chance to cast it, but even if they could, they'd have to go down a card to steal a Graveyard Trespasser for 2 turns. Like,
I'm
that's not great.
I'm not sure if I like cutting all the. Yeah, I think you want to keep some of the pack leader. It does make sense to
Right.
cut some of it though, because you don't want outside of their lantern rolls, you kind of don't want their fatal push to be active. You don't want to have
Right.
just a card that goes out and dies. So,
Right.
I kind of like you cutting some of them, but if you don't have like a lantern roll in your hand, it's gonna be kind of rough. I guess regardless, but obviously having that 2-drop as insurance to kind of curve out is good.
Right.
Definitely gonna see how
Well,
this matches up. Lesbier is definitely looking for an aggressive start.
100%. Well, and you know too, full well that Kaiba is not setting out to cut the fatal pushes in this matchup. Not a chance.
Yep.
So yeah. So yeah, removing some of the targets for that is valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
So
All right.
Lesbier going to be
Game
on the
2.
play here. Let's see if they can muster up an aggressive start, so that way they can end the game really quickly. And I do love this hand. This hand's great.
Ooh, now
We
we're
have
talking.
the Land World
Oh, this is a
into
snappy.
the Beast.
Yeah, so we got you shock in your stomping grounds, Elvish Mystic.
Yep. I think you love Strike Beast though, right?
Oh,
Obviously, if
so
they kill your Lantern Wolf, it's bad. But you also have this Sekenzan. Like we're hoping to draw lands again.
True. Yeah.
But you also, as weird as I said, maybe the pack leaders were against push. You actually drew both of them, and in this situation, they're actually really good if they push your elf.
Exactly. If they push the elf, then you throw down the Karplusan Forest, take a damage, don't care, establish a
fatal push.
Yep, there it is. So
and you're fine with
we're gonna
that.
get.
Yeah, you can get a couple pack.
Forest.
You can get a pack leader,
Perfect.
and then a pack leader plus the token off the love struck, and then play love struck on turn 4. So you're
That feels
getting some
pretty good.
serious threats on the battlefield that could potentially draw you some more cards.
Whoa.
You can even keep that Sekenzan if you need to make the 2/2s. But here's a Thoughtseize, so I'm expecting the love struck beast.
Yep.
To probably hit the graveyard unless they have a way to deal with the token. But pack leader is really good as well. I think either one of the cards right now in Lesbier hands are a really good choice depending on what Kaiba has in the rest of their hand.
It's always a bummer whenever you see your opponent's hand and you're like, man, I really wish I could take both of those. Although it kind of depends on how optimistic or pessimistic you are, because you can look at it and think, oh man, they're gonna be left with a good card, or you could look at it and saying, hey, whatever I discard is gonna be good. Like, there's no wrong answer. Yay. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And they go with the Love Struck Beast. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense because that thing has a lot of power. Oh,
that's a huge draw.
That's fantastic.
Huge draw. So definitely makes up for not hitting a land last game.
Yep. Reckless Stormseeker coming in.
Hit 6, draw a card. Things are coming up Millhouse.
Activates pack tactics. Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yeah,
Holy
everything's
cow.
coming up Millhouse. But now we have the land drop plus the Bone Crusher, right?
Bone Crusher's next. Oh my goodness. The Kaiba hasn't even played the 3rd land yet. It's not the second Manuscript. They just haven't had a chance.
Yeah, the game hasn't even started.
Yeah.
And the tab land's
incredible.
Tough. That's
that's
you
bad. Mean to tell me that a 3/3 for 2 that is a card draw engine and can pump itself later if you have mana is pretty good.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Pretty good? Okay, I think that's pretty good.
Going for so Sekenzan though. So we are gonna go for the 2 damage here, which I like.
Yep.
The Lair of the Hydras is gonna be good if we lose our creatures, but right now, I mean, Kaiba's gonna have a hard time dealing with these unless they have Extinction Event.
Well, absolutely, because you look at the Sekenzan and what does it give you? I mean, it turns on the Love Struck Beast like we talked about, but Lesbier doesn't have one, so whatever. And other than that, it creates 2 1/1s that can attack. Well, that gives you 2 damage. Well,
yeah, I'm not sure.
Playing it out as a land so that you have 4 land drops live, and now you can stomp. Well, hey, that's 2 damage. Nice. Like it's.
Yeah, they're really going for the damage now, which I like. Oh, this has got to be like a double stomp here. So.
All right.
This is really good. You can also just stomp your own card if you don't want them to get a Bone Crusher.
They could stomp their own. Assuming, it's a double stomp. Sure enough.
Yeah, I think you stomp your own creature so they don't get one.
Yeah, so they lose their second Bone Crusher. Although
I think it's fine either way. I think that these are all flexible options here. Putting them down to 7. You play your tap land. Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So we play our tap land and we play Bone Crusher and we smash in for 3. So I always look at mana. So Kaiba's got to use 3 mana if they don't play another land. All they can maybe have is a fatal push, but you have a Lair of the Hydra. So you're looking for a top deck land and for them to only really have a push, and then you can activate Lair for 4 and smash in. But you also have the Sky Sovereign.
Yep. If they play out the Bone Crusher thinking, oh, this will be able to block, I should be okay. Sky Sovereign, easily just
Yeah,
gets
it
the
goes
Bone
over
Crusher
the
off the
top.
board,
Yep.
and then easy swing out. You draw another card off Pack Tactics. Bob's your uncle. That's
Yep.
the game.
These are all things that we like.
100%. Yeah, so Lespear being able to provide a ton of early aggression. This is what this deck is known for. And this is why this deck wins games. So here we are.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're staring at the pack leader, so they must be planning something here, right?
Yeah,
They're
they
really
might have a
hoping
push in
that
hand or
push.
something, but
Yeah,
yeah.
maybe they're hoping push plus Bone Crusher, or they play like a Trespasser, because Trespasser can get them up to 5.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be useful.
And then abuse
Absolutely.
the day-night cycle. But yep, Bone Daddy
There's a
coming
Crusher.
down. I'm
Yep.
expecting maybe not a go for the throat, but the other one, a power word kill maybe. Let's see what Arthur removal suite Arthur's playing. So they do have a go for the throat. A couple Shieldred's Edicts, Fatal Pushes, Follows Command, not really a card, and Hagra Mauling.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Calling Command actually got sideboarded out, but unfortunately we don't know. But yeah, here comes Sky Sovereign.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. Sky Sovereign coming down, targeting Bone Daddy. So yeah, let's be here. Oh, and it's an ability, so it doesn't even trigger the
They lose to the Bone Crusher too because of Fatal Push, so they can try to Fatal Push the Bone Crusher, go down to 2, and then lose to the pack leader. So yeah, it's probably the play. It's probably what's happening. So Kaiba just backs it up knowing that can't get around the Bone Crusher's target ability. They're at 4, they just lose. So
yeah,
going to game 3, I don't know if we want to make any changes. I really could still see Embercleave, but I think Embercleave is a lot better on the play.
Yeah, agreed. Honestly, like I love Sky Sovereign here because in this situation it was just a 5-mana strangle. That's all it was, but that's exactly what it needed to be. It was perfect. I love it. Oh,
it was the last removal spell you needed in the game.
Oh yeah, right. Well, but obviously it's also it has the potential to be a 6-power flying attacker that can continue to remove things. So obviously, like for 5 mana, it's great. This is all it did in that game.
Do you make any changes?
I need. Maybe not.
I really like Liberator just because I'm worried of Fable. I really feel like we haven't seen a Fable yet, and the likelihood of us seeing a Fable in game 3 is probably likely. Fable and Shielded probably. So I think
not zero.
Yeah, I think now we cut the cloth. I really like the Embercleave. Maybe that's just how I would sideboard, just because we go over the top. Cut a couple of Crowns, bring in 2 Embercleaves, and then you can go over the top of the Shieldred and just kill them. Especially if you have like a Love Struck or like a Bone Crusher down, something like that.
Sure.
But
it's possible.
They bring back the pack leaders being on the play or on the draw, hoping for the cheaper cards, and this is a tough keep, right? What do you think?
It is, because I mean you have the turn 1 Heart's Desire, the adventure from Lovestruck Beast. You also have the fast land, which is nice. Having the dual locked in is handy. And then you got Stomp. I think I'm probably keeping it, but I'm feeling a little apprehensive.
Especially after game 1.
Yeah, and being on the draw is really handy. So all right,
get 2 tokens down here pretty quick and beat down. I don't expect a Fatal Push, but I'm always happy when I see a Fatal Push on my Love Struck token.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Okay, so that's a great stomp target.
Oh, 100%. Ooh, but we have a Llanowar Elf.
I don't think you can take a turn off and play the Llanowar though, because you run the risk of them killing it. Right. And then your whole turn's kind of just blank. So I think you have to stomp the Blood Tithe Harvester and smash.
I'm kind of inclined to agree. It's not ideal because, especially not in a position where you're not going to hit your land drop again, or you may not, depending on what the top deck is. So if they don't hit their 3rd land drop, that's going to be a bummer for sure.
You're both at parity though for cards almost.
Right.
Like opponent's going to have, Kaiba's going to have 6 cards on their draw. And you have 5, and then you're going to go up to 6 cards anyway. So I think you're okay killing their card for tempo and then smashing it for 1. And if we top deck a land, we could Love Struck. Then we force them to have to kill the 1/1. Then we just play 2 other 1/1s.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is definitely has to be the play here. You have to, knowing that they already have a removal spell in play, I think you have to get rid of it because no matter what you play, it's probably going to die.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think they just were in a really, really tough situation that they kind of had to navigate through. And Kaiba's missing land drops here, I think.
Discarding a Shieldred.
Okay.
So yeah, but they found the fast land. Okay.
Yep. All right, we didn't hit a land, but
pack leader is pretty nice here.
Yeah, I think maybe you just attack and pack leader, but pack leader dies to push, so maybe you play 2 spells instead, or you can hold up to 2 spells in case it tries to go nighttime. You have a few different options here.
Yeah, absolutely. So here comes another Heart's Desire, and then the Llanowar Elves. Okay.
Yep.
So in this situation, it's kind of nice though, because now you know, like, all right, if they hit the Llanowar Elves, which it looks like they're going to do, fatal push.
See, it's going to die anyways.
Yeah. And so you'd rather lose the Llanowar Elves than the Werewolf Pack Leader. Because the Llanowar Elves, yeah, it helps you cast your cards and obviously gives you a resource.
Oh,
Lair of the Hydra. It's unfortunately a tapped land, but it's a land. We take those.
yeah, it's a land. We have a play. We're just so
Yeah,
behind, but
exactly.
at the same time, like, we still have so many cards that it's going to be hard for Rakdos to have an answer to every card. So we're really hoping that our creatures are going to line up great. And, if we can get this Acrone Ward to take a Shieldred, it's going to feel really, really good.
Oh my goodness, yes. So at this point, yeah, so Lespire has 3 lands. They have the
Mhm.
Werewolf Pack Leader, so they have a play this turn. Even if it dies, next turn you have Lovestruck Beast, you have Bonecrusher Giant, you have Reckless Stormseeker. And then if the land comes up, then you have a Seeker's Chariot. And I don't know, a lot of cool things can happen. Honestly, this hand looks fantastic. So, okay, another Fatal Push. Easily taking care of the Werewolf Pack Leader. Bummer, but not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And 4 mana,
Yep, there's a Shieldred. We're looking for a
land off
top
the
deck
top.
land.
Show me that land off the top for that Acrone War. Llanowar Elves. Almost, but not quite.
Lovestruck Beast.
Yeah, it's got to be Lovestruck Beast because that can tangle with.
Feels so bad for Lespire. They just keep losing land drops. I mean, if they
Yeah.
hit one here, they would have been.
Oh, that would have
been
been
solid.
Because that would have been 6 damage on the crackback. Shieldred's on your side. It's pinging them as they draw. It would have been. Well, they wouldn't have been able to attack right away. But
yeah, I mean,
still.
you're okay with this Lovestruck maybe bashing in through the 4/5.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, at this point, if Kaiba is offering the trade, Lespire is more than happy to take it. And
it did shock. Yeah,
they did.
Oh, they have to have an instant here.
They have to
go
have
for the throw.
There's no way that this is.
Okay.
Yeah, Edict.
That's fine.
Yep, that'll do it. Yep. Okay.
So we take 6, go down to 12. They're going for the block. Sure.
They're gonna chump it. Okay.
Yeah, Lair can still be a 1/1.
Oh, if need be, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have a land. Yep.
Tight. All right.
Play that as red. Play the.
Yeah, play it as red. And do you Acrone War or do you Chariot here? I mean, Acrone War taking Shieldred is a massive blow.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
You have a huge swing next turn too.
Although establishing the Chariot here is also pretty potent. It looks like they're gonna go with the Llanowar Elves and then maybe another Lovestruck. Which I mean,
okay.
that's value. You can work with that.
Yeah, they still have blocks. It's probably the better play.
Yeah.
If you top deck lane, you can double spell 2 3-drops then.
Right. Yeah, because Llanowar Elves is an accelerant that they can absolutely use. And the Lovestruck Beast does blank Shieldred, and now even the Llanowar Elves is blanking another Shieldred's Edict if that happens to be in Kaiba's hand.
Yep.
So now if they say non-token creature, well, okay, my Llanowar Elves are gone.
Yeah, if they were going to Edict, they had to do it there unless they had like another a Stomp. They have a Stomp here into Edict that's probably pretty good, and they still have to block again, but then they still have like a Acrone War or Chariot.
Well, and now putting the Lovestruck Beast down, you're putting Kaiba in an awkward position where they need to block with the shield, or they can't reasonably attack with the Shieldred because that's a trade you make all day.
Mm-hmm.
But additionally, if you can Acrone War the Shieldred, now that Lovestruck Beast can punch for 5, more or less freely. So let's see what Kaiba plays here. They're down to 2 cards, so they're running out of action.
Yeah, they're definitely thinking a lot. Okay, so they kept the cold command. I think you ditched the haste or werewolf.
Yeah, the reckless Stormseeker.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a very good card. Don't get me wrong, but in this scenario, I'd rather have Chariot. And,
yeah, you're not like ahead. You're not ahead,
right.
so
very true.
Yeah, you're not attacking right now.
Yep. Yeah, keep it back just in case.
They have 2 cards. I think Lespire might be okay if they can get this Acrone War down. Take the Shieldred, smack for 6, and then things look really good. Hit them for another 2.
Mm-hmm.
Kaiba's probably going to commit more to the board.
Okay, so here we go. There's Stomping Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that descenders tapped. But yeah, here comes Acrone War.
Yep. Might kill their own Shieldred.
I mean, if I'm Kaiba, I'm seriously considering it.
You're probably okay with that if you're Lespire, though.
Oh, 100%. I mean, yeah, 4 mana, destroy, kill the Shieldred, sure. I mean, obviously stealing it is nice, but this is also temporary. So, granted,
you only got this for 2 more turns or 1 more turn, technically.
Yeah, it's only 1. That's the thing about Acrone War. You only actually get to swing with the creature once because it's summoning sick again when it changes hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bummer in that regard. Oh, they have the K command, which brings up their other Sheoldred and also kills the 1/1, which means the yeah, the Love Struck Beast can no longer attack. Wow. But now if Kaiba plays their other Sheoldred, when they regain control of Sheoldred the following turn, the Legend Rule applies. So let's see if they do that. Notably, Lespierre did not play out the Stomping Grounds.
Nope, shielded down.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? The way that a Chrono
Huh.
War is worded, the shielded would kill itself. Because each creature deals damage to itself, so the death touch on the shielded kills their own shielded. And when
That's
you give
awesome.
them their shielded back, if they keep the tap one, which obviously they won't do, they'll get blown out super hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, you attack all day.
Well, or do you leave the Sheoldred back because
You have to
Kaiba's
attack so
Sheoldred
it kills
has
itself.
to attack.
Yeah.
So you could just send their you could just trade Sheoldreds because both of them are Kaibas. If I'm Lespierre, I'm like, all right, cool.
That's actually true. It's a really good point.
Yeah. Honestly, I would probably just chill.
I think this is
'cause-
fine. I think you swing in. If they don't block, they don't block. They take 6. They go down to 10. Still have a 5/5. We still have tokens. We're fine. I think Lespierre
Well,
can
they
be as
take
aggressive
4.
as they want. Or
Yeah, I think-
sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking they
But
take
that-
4 plus the 2 off the draw.
Yeah, but their Sheoldred offsets that.
Oh,
again,
I
they're-
got you. Yeah.
Both
Sorry.
of those
Yep.
Sheoldreds are
Yep.
Kaibas. You
Yep.
know, Lespierre doesn't have a horse in this race. And again, not playing out the Stomping Grounds, even tapped. I'm not 100% sure what's up with that, but I'm sure there's a reason.
That's just a mistake. I think
Okay.
I do that stuff by accident where I'm like, oh yeah, probably should play this land. Hopefully it doesn't make a difference, but
Well, it's
Two
one of
life
those
is
things
two
like
life.
right now it doesn't make a difference, but if they top deck a land, they could have played the Stormseeker and the Bone Crusher. You know, and that will make a difference probably.
yeah, definitely.
So that Shelly has to attack. And so they just are gonna smash into each other and both die, which sweet. Like that's just 100% upside.
So Kaiba here. Still just chilling, right?
Yep. Hovering the Acron War a little bit. Double checking. Wait, what does that do again? Yeah, it does. It does that thing you don't
Guess
like.
I got to attack.
Yep. I guess this is happening. Or you tap your Sheoldred to crew your Reckoner Bagbuster.
No, so the play is actually Lespierre needs to respond to the Acron War trigger by tapping the shielded to recrew the cat car, and then the shielded will be tapped to kill itself.
Yeah, on upkeep, they should do that.
Yep.
That would be fantastic. And I have a feeling Lespierre probably sees that.
Yeah,
there
I
isn't
think-
a stop
I
on the
think that's
upkeep,
the
which
play.
yeah,
Yeah, there's no
100%.
stop yet, but that's the way to do it. Oh, they could crew the yeah, you're right. They can crew the Bankbuster and get out of this.
But yeah, so yeah, Kaiba
but then the
doesn't have to
Shieldred's
attack
going to
with
be
that Sheoldred.
tapped, so they still lose their Shieldred.
That Sheoldred dies. But if the Sheoldred that Lespierre has doesn't die, then it's going to go back
Yep,
and
there's
Kaiba
a
still has
stop.
the Sheoldred.
There's a stop.
There's the
there's a
stop.
stop.
Yeah, Lespierre sees it. All right, perfect.
Yeah, there's a stop.
You love to see it.
Yep, you love to see it here.
Oh my goodness. All right, upkeep.
Yep, my turn on upkeep. We crew the cat car. Give you the Shieldred back. You sack one. The other one kills itself. Huge plays here from Lespierre. Really heads up
Let's
play, noticing the same
go.
thing that we noticed here.
Yep. And on
And
top of that, now the
crew.
chariot can swing.
Yeah, now the trade. Yeah,
which-
now you're just like
now the
you
chariot
just make the layer of the Hydra 1/1, and then they're just dead, right?
100%. Yeah.
6, 10, 14. Yeah, that's
I'm
lethal.
fairly confident that does it.
Yep, that's lethal.
So yeah, sure enough, this triggers.
Yep. 5 Shieldreds.
Boom, boom. Sheoldreds
Yep,
are out.
death touch is a thing.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, they're like, nice.
You got to give the nice on that. That's
So
beautiful.
you make the layer of the Hydra 1/1. Then you swing.
Let's see,
see.
here's the situation.
You can play
Where-
the Reckless Stormseeker
Well,
and make
you
the
play
layer of the Hydra
Reckless
1/1
Stormseeker.
still. And then
You
be able to
play
smash
Reckless
in.
Stormseeker, and then you spend.
2 mana.
Well, later,
It doesn't
later
matter
the
if the
Hydra can,
layer's tapped. Yeah, it could
yeah,
tap
exactly.
itself.
Either,
Yep.
Yeah, later the Hydra can still be the 1/1 or
Mhm.
Mutavault. Well, no, Mutavault's a 2/2, isn't it? So just
Yeah,
kidding.
Mutavault's a 2/2, yeah.
Yeah.
But yep, no, activate layer.
Yeah. Tap the layer.
Activate the layer. I think they
X
just don't
equals
see it.
1.
It's an easy thing to miss. I
Oh,
only know it
100%.
because I play a lot of mono green, and in mono green, I always need the layer to be a 1/1.
Right.
Sometimes you just lose it. You lose your other ones, but yeah, I think they just a little bit of mistake. They didn't, notice
Yeah,
it. But
I mean, this is still
okay.
11 damage here.
Like-
They're doing fine.
yeah, they
probably
have
are-
2 creature lands. I think is the main thing about this situation.
Mhm.
And you're right, that's not playing that stomping ground definitely hurts them now. They don't. They have to pay 2 life for it.
a little unfortunate, but yeah.
Kaiba drawing is good news for us.
Yep.
Or for Lespierre, I think that's good. I think Kaiba, played this as best as they could. They had everything they needed, but that a Chrome War, you can definitely see the power of a Chrome War. especially when you have
Mhm.
the vehicles to be able to tap those creatures when you give them back and then they just die. So
That was fantastic.
really heads
yeah.
up play there from Lespear, who actually noticed that. And getting rid of that shielded obviously gets them closer to victor here. And Kaiba now thinking about what their play is going to be, whether they want to play a blocker, removal spell on a blocker. You could theoretically stomp a token and then play your
The reality is
Crusher, but you're
Kaiba's
dead because you're
been low on cards the majority of this game. Yeah, so there's Fatal Push on a cat, which is definitely not promising for the position Kaiba's in.
And they're just gonna
that allows the draw. That's a good game if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah,
good.
that'll do it.
Yep.
Boom.
Good game.
Wow.
And they pass.
Yeah, great heads up play without. That Crone War was MVP, no question.
Looking for the latest comic book to add to your collection? How about the last card for that Magic the Gathering Commander deck? Well, the comic book stores got you covered. Shop online at comicbookstore.tcgplayerpro.com or come in person at 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey.
This video is brought to you by MagicJank.com, the spiciest cards for your sauciest decks. Buy and sell Magic the Gathering products and gear today on MagicJank.com.
Pizza people, are you enjoying the content? Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit that bell icon as well. That way, anytime any of our new content comes out, you're able to see it right away. Hey, leave a comment down below as well. Tell us what you're going to play in the next event, or tell us what you're enjoying about the video. Don't forget, check out the description too. We've got tons of great content down below. And on top of that, we're going to have our tournament schedule too. So get in on it. Hope to see you. Coming into the finals here, we have Rakdos Sacrifice versus Gruul Boats, Gruul Aggro mid-range. And Marcelo, unfortunately, does have to take a mulligan here.
You think so?
Not really sure what you would put back. What are you thinking? Swamp?
Oh, you know what? I'm at the wrong table. I was looking at
I'm at 44.
Hand. It was looking really good.
No, you can look at you can totally look at Lespear's if you want to.
Okay, all right.
Over here we have.
No, I want to see what I want to. Let's have a seamless.
You're gonna get a peek at both.
I'm gonna join you. All right. But in any event, Lespear's hand looks really good. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I mean, so, yeah. Okay. But honestly, though, okay. So they took a mulligan, but you got the cat, you got the oven, you got the Thoughtseize, you got the Croc. So what more are you looking for? They choose to establish the cat here, which is interesting.
Oh, my cat's here too. We got a cat.
Yeah, there's the Mystic. Here. Oh, top deck Fatal Push. You'll love to see it.
Black cat.
You get to bolt the bird.
Baroni.
All right, swinging first. Full well Lespear's not going to block it, but hey, if they do, great.
Well, we have a Fatal Push here, so this Land of Wealth is not going to survive.
Oh, no.
I think I would rather go for the Thoughtseize and the push. But Marcelo's better. Marcelo's a really good player. They made it this far into the finals.
Right.
So, they obviously know what they're doing.
Yeah, so, I mean, the thought is you could Thoughtseize and potentially remove, whatever 3-drop you were worried about coming down, but getting rid of the Elvish Mystic when you can, I think, is valuable. Honestly, you can make a really solid argument for Fatal Push and Thoughtseize over the Witch's Oven. That could have been viable as well.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so Lespear, they have the pack leader hand. Yep,
grounds.
they do.
Yep, there it is.
Yep, Thoughtseize.
Well, pack leader Thoughtseize would have been welcome there. Now,
pack leader is not like the card you want to hit anyways with Thoughtseize, right? Like you want to hit one of their more powerful cards. I think right now we're just looking for a Fatal Push, and this is where like Thoughtseize is still decent, but not the best card. Lespear has 6 cards in their hand?
Yeah,
or 5 cards in their hand. So there's a Sky Ship.
I mean, you gotta Sky Sovereign or Mystic. Both are pretty.
You gotta take the Sky Ship. The Mutavault's pretty good though for Lespear.
Yeah. Oh, the Mutavault's gonna be very useful. Yeah.
That Croxa though is gonna be scary, especially if you play it and then they just Crown Ward. So, Marcelo's gonna go for it though.
And they got full control. Somewhere. Full control. So the Witch's Oven is gonna be able to sack Croxa, which is beautiful.
Get 2 more food.
Yep.
And we have chump blockers in life for days here. Exactly where the Rakdos sack deck wants to be. Like I was saying, they're getting their engine going. And it makes it a lot harder for the Gruul deck to overcome unless the Gruul deck's just top decking a boat every turn. Or they really need a Chariot. I think Chariot not only blocks the Croxa, but also gives you a really good attacker here. I'm not sold on this Chrome War until we get to the Croxa. But once we even Take the cross out. We need another vehicle to crew, just like we saw with that Shieldred play in the semifinals. So,
now they choose. Lesbier chooses to discard the Elvish Mystic. Now I'm looking at Beseju and I see that Witch's Oven. If I'm Lesbier, I am 100% blasting that oven. It's not even a consideration.
What do they have?
Do not pass
grade?
go.
I'm sorry. What was it?
Beseju.
Beseju.
Beseju who endures.
Yeah, you could.
But by discarding the Elvish Mystic there, they
they cut themselves off some mana.
They kind of cut themselves off a little bit because I feel like they could have, discarded the Crone War, played out the Elvish Mystic, Beseju the Witch's Oven. Because what is a Crone War gonna? Yeah, to your point, I mean, unless Kroxa is live in a way where it doesn't have to be sacrificed, the Crone War is not really going to be doing much. And I feel like Marcelo's still a little ways away from that.
Yep, they're going to do it.
There it is. Yep. But that was the land drop, is my point. So, like, Beseju...
Yep, that's definitely a good observation.
Blowing that up means that, Blood Crypt, sure.
Yep. Yeah, this play could become relevant.
Now they have a 4-drop they can't play.
Yeah.
And they missed out on playing off their mana dork.
They also put another card in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Right? So, no, granted, they do need another card.
Right.
So they're gonna lose their Cauldron Familiar if they want to get this Kroxa, but of course Fable's coming down.
Yep, Fable the Mirror Breaker, great.
Here's an attack.
Pick up, yep.
Make a 2/2 Goblin, pass.
And then probably discard whatever they draw, unless it's like a Mayhem Devil or something like that, or another Oven.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, on turn 2 you just dump whatever you draw and draw again.
Right now we have 3 life from the food, and if the cat comes back, so things are looking. It doesn't look like they top deck the land.
No.
I don't know if you can go see what cards they have.
Yeah, let me go check. Let me do some recon for you. So we know of the Crone War. They are also sitting on a Karplusan Forest, so they did find a land. And then a Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, I know. They're doing all right.
They're okay. Do you take the token then?
With the Bone Crusher? Yeah.
Oh, no, they have... Okay. Oh, okay. You're right. They have a Stomp. Right.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a shame they don't have another land because they could have played the Bone Crusher. Like you said, the Land of Werewolf play... That's tough. Yeah. I mean, they would have had to got rid of one of those good cards, right? So, I mean, those good cards just played really well for them.
Yeah, and in this situation, so they have the Crone War left. And to be fair, though, now Marcelo's in a position where pulling Kroxa back seems to be the plan. It looks like they're still a card or two shy of being able to execute that.
If they top deck a land, they can do it because of the treasure.
Okay.
And they haven't played a land yet, I don't believe. So they can definitely still play it as long as they top deck a land. But, like, you don't have any defenses. I mean, you have one... Ooh, that's a huge draw. That was massive draw. But they're not going to go for it. But they get rid of the Crone War regardless because Kroxa is going to make them discard, so...
Right, so yeah, you don't need to...
A little bit of an awkward play, I guess, on Lespier's side. Maybe hindsight's 20/20 here.
Right.
Just because, like, you probably could have kept one of those cards in your hand.
Right, so yeah, Kroxa dumping the Crone War and just being... Which is really a shame because, the Crone War you kept around to deal with Kroxa, and now
it's just
Kroxa...
We can draw another one. War.
Yep. Yeah, now we have a situation where Marcelo just has the bigger body online, which is really problematic.
That's pretty
Chariot's
good.
lovely here. All right.
Altseas is dead, unless Lespier ends up having cards. But this Bone, they can't really attack. They can attack, you make a chump block, and then you just play Bone Crusher and destroy them for a bunch of damage.
Right.
Ooh, that's a really good draw, though.
That's a really good draw. That card is pretty fantastic, especially with the Reflection of Kiki Jiki live. So I think you got to play out the Mayhem Devil. At this point, you have the Cauldron Familiar in the graveyard, and you have one food. That's not really nice. You don't like. That's not quite.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. Yeah, because 1 damage isn't going to get you anywhere. Even if you have the way to sacrifice a second thing, being able to
they're swinging.
Ping one of the cats might be relevant. But all right, so yeah, Kroxa coming in.
Put them down to 9. You don't
puts them in an awkward spot where they kind of have to block.
You could just block with everything.
Yeah.
And then they can only kill 2 of your cards. And then you keep the Chariot, and then you, through Chariot, start smashing back. But you ultimately lose the Devil, though.
Yeah, I mean, but at this point,
I think you
Lester
still
doesn't know
swing
the Devil's
Chariot.
there.
I guess they have the Reflection. The Reflection.
And this right here, everybody, this, kids, is why you always swing before you cast your spells. Because Lespier is having to set up their block and make a very critical game decision with limited information. That is huge.
Actually, you can kill everything because you can deal 2 damage to the pack leader, 2 damage to each token, and then you play the devil.
Yeah,
get
devil
back
bring
the
back the
cat.
familiar and
Yeah,
pop
and it
the
kills the pack leader.
Yeah.
So this is really awkward. Yeah, going for the crew.
You're going for the crew.
Only 1 card here going to get lost. I guess no, 2 still because of
No,
the
you're still
devil.
gonna, yeah, they're still gonna take out 2, but now they have the opportunity to take out the chariot, which is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, this is a little bit
Yep.
awkward. I mean, they're just in a bad spot making this block, and then here's a double.
Yep, devil, cat comes
Cat
back.
comes back, and then if reflection sticks around, we have 2 devils, and
Yeah, I mean, reflection mayhem devil is bad news. That's something that we've definitely seen before. And honestly, I can't imagine Lesbier finding something that can get out of this. I mean,
the only
yeah,
thing would be a
like,
boat, but they don't have the mana.
exactly. They're mana shy from the boat, so yeah, definitely
So
unfortunate.
tough play there. They just cannot get out of that game. Everything came up for Marcelo there, and getting rid of that Chrome War with the Crux was huge.
Right, and yeah, no, that the empty hand with Croxa, being able to hit that Chrono Orb was massive. Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, Marcelo played it beautifully, lined up their threats perfectly well, and those last couple of draws were really hot. Like, they got really good cards at the right time. So, that happens. And Lesbier maybe didn't quite hit what they were looking for. So, yeah.
I think you got to bring in the 3 mana take their card, I think.
Yeah.
Goligank's command is still pretty good here because it destroys an artifact.
Yeah. Yeah, being able to blow up the boat or the chariot is pretty fantastic.
I'm not sure about Croxa, I guess. Croxa's kind of like awkward. Are they only playing 3 cats in their deck? That is wild.
Yeah, it's the core piece of the whole thing, and they're only playing 3.
What? I didn't even see this in their deck. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is.
Hey, it's working.
I have never seen that, Ham. That is.
I think
that's wild.
It's interesting because it's a core piece of the deck. It's a 1-drop and it's good in multiples. So yeah, why would you not run for it? But
you only need 1.
You only need 1, exactly. That's the thing. You need multiple ovens. You don't need multiple cats.
Yeah. When you have multiple cats, it doesn't matter that you have multiple ovens and cats. The oven's the one that's sacrificing 1 card at a time. So I definitely understand the logic. And I mean, obviously, it gives them an additional flex spot that maybe they're playing that Croxa they won with. Maybe they're playing, one of these other 1-ofs in their deck. Like, it's actually really interesting to see that. I know we see Samsoni play the deck a lot. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what their take is on it. Actually cutting a cat.
Yeah, anybody else out there who are, Rakdos sack aficionados? 3 versus 4 cats. What are your thoughts? All right.
Pretty good hand.
This looks good to me. I mean, the Fatal Push, Claim the Firstborn, Double Blood Ties, Deadly Dispute, all the right pieces are here. Some cheap sacrifice fodder would be fantastic. And yeah, there's a Noxious Grasp as well. That's pretty delightful. Now, do you shock out the Blood Crypt to keep Fatal Push up?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's probably worth it, right?
Yeah. They're just gonna play. They don't even care. They're just gonna play the Springs.
Okay.
Doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You don't have to pay the life for it. If it happens, you pay 2 life, 2 more, or 1 life now, 2 more life later. And
fair enough. Unless it's hers, okay.
Fine. Against the cat oven deck, hitting the graveyard doesn't really matter.
Right.
The best card would probably be Rest in Peace, and Rest in Peace is still like situational. So just one, one-dimensional card.
Well, to be fair, yeah. I mean, our opponent Gruul though doesn't have access to that, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, being able to blow up the graveyard. Yeah.
Either way, blowing up the graveyard against the cat oven isn't the greatest all the time. There's moments where you can quote unquote catch them, but it doesn't happen often.
I mean, Reckless Stormseeker here is interesting, but that Blood Tithe Harvester blanks it so perfectly.
Yeah, and they're gonna play another one, kill it. They also have. I could just claim it. Deadly Dispute.
Yeah, claim it. Smash for 6. Deadly Dispute. That seems fantastic to me. Yep.
One thing to note as well, Lesbier just has less cards. Obviously, Marcelo is lower on mana, but having more cards, I hear, is a pretty good thing.
Yeah, rumor has it that helps you win games. Yeah.
Now they're catching up on mana with the land drop plus the Deadly Dispute here in a second. So it doesn't really matter that they're kind of going all in a little bit here. And like I said, they just have more cards. Lesbier's, like, First just isn't doing anything. I'm telling you, like, it's a good card.
Yeah. The card is great, but in this matchup, I just don't see it lining up.
We've seen this all day. It's like just okay.
Yeah.
There's times where it's really good, and there's times where it's just not. 100%.
100%. Targeted graveyard hate against the cats just doesn't work. It just doesn't work because they're so slippery. I mean, if a Rakdos sacrifice player understands how the cat loop works, they will always leave a food open. So if you try to target the cat in the graveyard, just rip it out. It's like even something that blows up the graveyard wholesale, like a Tormod's Crypt or Rest in Peace. I mean, Rest in Peace, being able to prevent the cat from going into the graveyard, that's where you get them. And, you know, whereas in this case, and yeah, that targeted removal just doesn't do it.
Stormseeker, that's fine.
That treasure opens up Revolt, so the Fatal Push could even kill it here if that's
I
what.
I don't think they do it though. I think they would rather Deadly Dispute one of their artifacts. Wow, they're actually going for the push.
Looks like they're
I'm
going for it.
actually surprised they weren't.
All right.
So previously we've seen Marcelo save their mana, so definitely just going to snap this off here, mostly because I guess they want to save themselves from potentially another big hasty threat that Lesbier could have. Like let's say they have the cat card, then it's like the big feels bad. And
right.
The land, so.
Yeah, Reckless Stormseeker is pretty fantastic because not only does it have haste, it can give haste to your other stuff later. That's a very real threat. A very big deal. All right. Unlucky Witness coming down. Now, Marcelo has an opportunity to play the other Blood Tithe Harvester. It looks like they're going to instead keep up the Deadly Dispute. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, establishing another...
Get that trigger off of it.
Yeah, establishing another Harvester here wouldn't be bad. They'd have to take 2 damage to do it because the only lands that are left are pain lands.
They just don't want to get blown up by a stomp.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Even though I guess you still have 2 regardless, but you kind of open yourself up to kind of like some tough lines from Lesbier if they have it. But right now, Lesbier is just looking for their 4th land, so you can Noxious Grasp this Land Wealth just fine. Okay, going for the deadly play though.
Yeah, they're gonna
see some more cards, give us some more options.
Dispute first, sure.
Yep. We're gonna get mana too. Don't forget about mana. We can meet Hook for even more now. Or activate this Den of the Bugbear that we got down last turn. So lots of lines here. See what happens.
Oh, sick. So they got a Fatal Push and a Deadly Dispute off the Unlucky Witness. Now, unfortunately, they can only use 1. But I gotta say, okay, so that guy's getting abraded. And being able to Fatal Push that elf is nice, but I think if I'm Marcelo, I'm probably going to use the Deadly Dispute, sacrifice the blood token, draw 2 more cards. Well, or claim the Llanowar Elf and then dispute it. That also works. And again, tap it for mana, so you're mana neutral. It's nasty. I love it. So I'm going to turn your elf into a treasure and 2 more cards. Beautiful. All for really only 2 mana. Actually, only 1 if you're counting the treasure bag. And that Thoughtseize, while Lesbier has 3 cards in hand.
Yep, Thoughtseize and the Blood Tithe now seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what we're going to see. Yep. We were going to take 3, but that's definitely worth it here.
I think
4 because of the pain land.
Yeah, I'd probably lead with Thoughtseize. And it looks like they're actually going to be cracking the treasure, so they don't have to take the pain land hit.
That's fine.
Which, all right.
And you save yourself a point of damage here.
Yeah, well, and especially when you have a Witch's Oven that you want to establish, saving the pain land for that.
We can't cast. Chariot that we can't cast.
Chariot represents a bigger threat. As long as you have the treasure token, the Stormseeker, it can be pushed.
It'll die.
So that's all whatever. Yeah, so they're going to play the Stormseeker next turn. Marcelo has the push. The amount of cards that they drew here was
Sky Sovereign gets around all the removal Marcelo has, so all Lesbier needs are just 2 lands.
Yeah.
2 lands and then a top decked card that's 3 power or more, and we have a 2-turn clock.
Yeah.
Unless we're counting the food, which would be a 3-turn clock, but it's looking pretty interesting here to see what the plays end up being. Definitely going for some interesting lines here. And unfortunately, Lesbier has just kind of been a little bit mana screwed in this top 8.
A little bit.
They made it to the finals here, but following some of their other matches, it's a little bit difficult. For them to draw lands at the right time.
Well, that's one of the things that it's easy to overlook with aggro. When you're trying to establish as much power as possible in the early game, finding the right balance of lands and spells is really important, which makes the mulligan decision especially valuable. But those first few draws you get make a massive difference. And some of those have not lined up well for Lesbier here. So, okay, the Stormseeker is going to crew the hearse. The hearse is a
A
5/5.
5/5.
It's not going to be a 6/5 on the attack.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
do you
good.
push? Oh yeah. I mean, if I'm
Kill it.
Marcelo, I'm gonna fatal push the hearse here.
Yep, you kill it.
Yep, and then next turn, uh,
I can't
maybe
Noxious
consider.
Grasp. The
Yeah.
Noxious Grasp gets kind of worse here. Den does put them at a 2-turn clock.
Yep. Yeah, Den's very real, and you win that race.
They can't Sky Shift. They just miss their land, so
Yeah.
Lespierre fortunately looks like they might be out of it. And
yeah, Marcelo is gonna be
here's 7. Put them at 4.
putting some pressure on here. Yep.
I mean, a Mehook can just kill them too.
Yeah, if I'm Marcelo, I'm attacking. I'm accepting that this Stormseeker and possibly something else is coming back.
Yeah, you don't care if they attack back.
Yeah.
Like, you're at 12. You're not going to die. You're putting them at a 1-turn clock. Like, they have to have something, but we're still going to be safe here. We'll kill this card.
Ah, they're choosing to use the Blood Tithe Harvester to kill the Stormseeker.
Nothing
That
wrong with
makes
that
sense.
play. Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Totally on board with that. Yep.
Keep the land in our hand for the blood later.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you got the Goblin, you got the Den.
All right, land drop and Chariot. Chariot would be good.
For land.
Okay. I mean, this isn't bad.
Love Struck's not bad, yeah.
Noxious does kill both of these cards, preferably the Love Struck, probably.
Yep. I'm thinking that is exactly right.
Another oven's fine.
But yeah,
things get interesting now, though.
Yeah, exactly. So you can Noxious Grasp the Love Struck Beast here.
But you can't
They don't have
activate
enough
the
mana
Den.
Yeah, they can't activate the Den then. But they could, so you could Noxious Grasp the Love Struck Beast. Or actually, what you could do, you could attack here. Assume that they're going to block with the Love Struck Beast and then Meat Hook for 4. You hold the Noxious Grasp back. And that eliminates
you just pop it and attack? It's like your only play. I'm worried about this play. Like, this is okay.
Yeah.
You kind of can kill them off of your creatures dying, but I'm a little worried because they hit like a lair. Beast's gonna be active.
Yeah.
If they hit a land, get a boat. So, or if they top deck a chair. I mean, there's so many cards that Lespierre could draw here. You know, the game's not out. You know, there's still a lot of live draws.
Yeah, Marcelo has an advantage still here, but it's
gonna pass.
It's starting to slip a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you just pass. See what they do. They hit a land, excuse me, then they can.
Yeah, Noxious Grasp isn't instant, so there's no need
that
to.
6/5. Yep.
No need to rush it.
6. There's a Chariot. That's not what you want to see if you're Marcelo.
Not at all.
Yep, that Den is no longer.
Yeah, Den's not a factor anymore.
Yep. And Noxious Grab is actually worse too because you can kill Lovestruck. But Lovestruck isn't even attacking.
At
you don't really want to kill one of the tokens because then Lovestruck's still going to crew. So
yeah, you want to wait till.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to wait till next turn for when they crew the Chariot before they attack to hit it. Then
Thoughtseize is
being able to strip the boat, so that's an option they don't have later. That's fine, but taking 2 damage is really meaningful.
Yeah, right now taking 2 damage is risky.
Yeah, that hurts.
Okay.
That's to the point where
Marcelo
has 2 land open. Let's just chow down on some food.
Yep.
Brace for that Thoughtseize next turn.
Okay.
Mayhem Devil. All right, you'll love to see it.
Yep. Devil's not bad.
And they have the mana to drop the Devil and hold up Grasp. So, okay. Groovy. Now, because of the way their lands had to tap there, they do have to take a pain land to use Noxious Grasp. 100% worth it. All right.
All right, so Lespierre has a card in their hand. Looks like they're turning the game a little bit, but listen, they're at 6. There's a lot of cards that kill Marcelo, and there's already damage on the battlefield with 2 sacrifice outlets plus the Mehook Massacre. So I think Lespierre either has to put them in a really bad spot or they have to gain life.
So what happens here, Marcelo has an opportunity to kill this Chariot before the attacks. They see it. They're going to do it. So you blast that. Now, those cats can attack and deal 2 damage, but you lose 1 in the process. That's a pretty lousy deal, if you ask me.
Yeah, so
and on top of that, because of Meat Hook Massacre, because the Devil blocking the other one, it's just, I don't know, that's bad value all around.
So
and there's the Blood Token, and the Den of the Bugbear is still there.
Well, they didn't draw anything. Nothing we could see.
Well, Deadly Dispute, the blood token. So that's a sack. That's a devil trigger. Pop, pop.
Yep.
And the treasure is another devil trigger. And we'll see what we draw into. If there's a creature in this mix, like that
Oh.
Cauldron Familiar.
I think that's it. I think that's 5 because of the Meathook Massacre.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. This comes
Yeah, I'm pretty
down.
sure
We
this will
sack
do
it.
it.
They lose one.
Yep.
They
Those
take
were
one for
those
the
were two
4,
phenomenal
sack,
draws.
lose, and then obviously the Cauldron trigger is just going to kill them here. So
Yep.
Marcella's just going to pass. They have lethal on board. So anything that Lethspirit does, they're pretty much just dead here, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, giving Lethspirit an opportunity to put something on the stack, basically, is where we're at.
Yeah, Lethspirit needs 2 instants.
Mm-hmm.
Need to gain some life. Here's a Clothis, but
Clothis, great card.
fortunately
Not gonna
Clothis
do it
is
here.
not going to do it. Yeah, it doesn't
Yep.
it doesn't get rid of a card right now. I think Scavenging Ooze is good. Usually that's what I play.
Yeah,
but,
Scavenging Ooze would be quite good here. Yep.
still difficult. I think they're just dead here. Yeah, gonna sack. They take 1.
Yep. No, take 2. So that puts them down to 2 right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that they take 2, and then of course.
And then
we know
they
the
sack the
cat
food on the
and
way back.
food.
That's
Yep.
another one. And then they can just sack the treasure, and that's game. Yep.
Yep.
Actually, they don't even need to. Just bring the cat back. That'll do it.
Yep. This is
Yep.
GG's.
The cat trigger and the devil
Sacrifice
thing.
trigger. Yeah, yeah, and they still have a treasure
Done.
too if they need to.
Yeah.
So
Good
us some
game.
overkill, but congratulations to Marcelo for taking down the PizzaBox Open Explorer event with Rakdos Sacrifice.